men's washroom, out onto the paddle wheel deck, and disembark into our life rafts there. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this safety briefing. In just a few moments, we'll be pulling off the dock here.
And Jillian Moran at the helm today. Okay, so as she says, welcome aboard. And Jillian Moran at the helm today. Okay, so as she says, welcome aboard. I've lived the wild road for 17 years. Spent all my money on a whiskey. And now I'm returning with golden great snow. I never will play that wild over no more, and it's no, they never, never, no more will I play the wild rover.
The island's cruise as we make our way out of the city of Kingston and into the Americans. Thankfully that never happened. 9 remain in Canada and 4 are in Kingston. We'll be seeing 3 out of the 4 we have here in the city of Kingston. And you'll notice that just before the roof, there's a line of windows, and inside that line of windows is a track which had a cannon in it, allowing for a 360-degree view of the area should they have ever needed to use it. Thankfully they did not. All of the Martello towers here in the city of Kingston are also named. This one, which is now on our starboard side, is named Shoal. Military College campus, or RMC. There is only one other school like this in all of Canada. It is the Collège militaire du Canada, Regional Tuition of Quebec. The school takes in about 150 to 250 students each year, all including self-funded and leadership and academic skills in their secondary education. 25% of the student body population of RMC identifies as female, which is the highest it has ever been in RMC history. This is thanks to the very first ever female commandant, or big boss in charge. Her name is Josie Kurtz, and she was sworn in 2021. The school colors of RMC are very creatively red and white, as seen both on the flag of RMC, which is on the very tall flagpole closest to the water right now on our port side, and also on the Canadian flag, which you can see on top of that tall tower over there, just behind some of the residence buildings. This Martello Tower on our port side, just on top of that hill, is a very cleverly named Martello Tower. This is Frederick. It sits on the former site of Fort Frederick on the other side of that hill. There is a stone wall, and you can also see some cannons from when it was an active military base. The waterway which we're sailing on today is known as the Blue Belt. It has 4 different waterways. The first 2 are down behind us to our stern is the Cataraqui River, which is just behind the LaSalle Causeway, which was that green metal bridge. A couple kilometers north of that is the Rideau Canal, which has 22 lock systems and runs on our port side. You will see a clock tower with a Canadian flag flying on top of it. This is Mackenzie Tower. It is a replica of the Centre Block building from the Parliament buildings in Ottawa, and they even have the construction right down to a T. Limestone Fort. This is Fort Henry. Fort Henry was originally a wooden fort until it was rebuilt into the limestone one that we see here today in about 1838. Just like the Martello Towers, Fort Henry was built to protect Canada's waterfront against a potential attack from the Americans, but yet again, that never happened. So Fort Henry was never used in any actual military battle. However, it was used as a prisoner of war. Tower, it sits on Cedar Island. Cedar Island belongs to Parks Canada and is also a campground just around the other side towards the inland side of this island. There are 2 docks, which is the only way that you can access this island, which is by boat. There's also a little bit of a ship. That's because he was the 2nd Prime Minister of Canada. The second one was a man who unfortunately perished in those waters, and his name is Robert James. Now, Robert James had a fiancée named Elizabeth, and when Elizabeth found out that her fiancé had died, she grew very sad and passed away 2 weeks later of a broken heart. It is now said that if you go camping on Cedar Island, you might be able to see Robert and Elizabeth walking hand in hand on the shores of Cedar Island and up the hill to Cathcart Tower. Taking a look directly on our starboard side, you'll see a vessel in the water. This is the Wolfe Islander 3, or the Wolfe Island Ferry. This ferry is the only method of transportation for residents and visitors of the island and the city of Kingston to get to and from the mainland and the island. This ferry will see replaced by the very cleverly named Wolf Islander 4, which is currently sitting on the summer dock in the village of Marysville on Wolf Island. It's about twice the size of the current ferry in use and is also fully electric. And if you were thinking about visiting Wolf Island with your time here in the city of Kingston, this ferry that is passing us on our starboard side is free to boat drive and walk on if you wish to do so.